Morning peeps, I'm back and we're going to have a look at my plans for this week. But first, I've got to have a bit of a rant, because I've had enough. I've had enough, peeps. People accusing me of being solio boy, being review boy and picking my players from review. Now, I played my wild card last week. I played an absolute goat move. Absolute goat move. I bought in Stach on game week 4 wild card, specifically to play the bench boost in game week 5. Did a lot of research on it. And yesterday I was watching Elena's really great show where she's sitting there with a grumpy ass who'd had a really bad game week. Someone in the chat pointed out that I had Stach on my bench boost. I got 30 points for my bench boost. Az is looking in horror, saying, nobody has Stach. Who has Stach, says Az. The only reason Trigger could have had Stach is because it would have been a review pick. And that's what he said, peeps. I was deeply hurt, because you know me, I do not pick from review. I've got 4 1k finishes, a top 35 finish. Review didn't even exist. Solio didn't even exist. I can play this game quite well without review or solio. Now I'm going to play you a clip now. It's going to take 3 or 4 minutes. It's a clip from my video that I did when I bought in Stach, and it's going to show you just what a goat pick it was and what a goat made the pick. And as for those content creator awards, why am I never on them? You know what I mean? Because the content I give you is so superior to a lot of the generic crap that I see on those awards. There's some good stuff as well. I see Nightmares on there. Our pubcast is on there, but why am I never up on those awards? I'll tell you why, peeps, because they don't like what I've got to say. That's why, because the truth can annoy people. Right, so I'm going to play you this clip now, and then I'm going to go and talk to some penguins, because to be honest, they're going to talk a lot more sense than some of the people I've spoken to in the last couple of days. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to play you this clip. So sit through it, peeps, and just realise what a genius move it was. So, here we go. But the reason I've got him, I've been doing a bit of research on him. And he's actually looking pretty good. So, Stach. He's looking for a return for international football. He wants to get back in the World Cup. He was in the under-21s and all that. He's 16. He's 26 now. He's started impressively at Leeds. He's back on the radar with the German coach. I mean, Germany have been awful in their lead-up matches. They could do with a bit of fresh blood. And he's keen, And he's made a very good start at Leeds, been one of their top players. And he's 6'5", peeps. Why are they all 6'5"? Tell me that. Tell me. We've got the Newcastle striker, we've got Ekateka, all these players from Germany. They've like been planted in a greenhouse or something, you know what I mean? Isn't it funny that like size decide they want to go back to long throws and suddenly all these 6.5 foot tall players turn up. You know what I mean? Like coincidence. Like they're suddenly there. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Anyway, peeps, he's been doing really well. Look at this. He's been rivaling Bruno Fernandes in a key Premier League stat. He's created 10 chances already. Admittedly, not very good ones, and Leeds strikers aren't able to convert them. But he's created 10 chances already. Known for his ball-winning abilities in Germany, so we could see a few defensive contribution points. He's enjoyed the freedom of a more forward-thinking role at Leeds, and he's been at the heart of their attacking play. He's been creating chances, 10 so far. So he's like, I looked on the ICT index on the official site, and he's like third for creativity out of everybody. Crazy. I didn't believe it, so I went and had a look, and it's true. He's created a lot of chances. He will he will hope to continue creating chances for his teammates, and I think he's got that magnificent striker Calvert-Lewin ahead of him this week, hasn't he? So I'm sure Calvert-Lewin is going to convert all his chances. But but anyway, for 5 million, he looks good, and you might wonder why I didn't just go and get stately home back in. I always forget his name. Dewsbury Hall. You probably wonder why I didn't get Dewsbury Hall back in. Well, he's got Liverpool in game week 5 away. So he's not so good for my bench boost. And their fixtures aren't great. And he was just going to sit on the bench anyway. I mean, most weeks Stach will be on my bench. But Leeds do have pretty good fixtures. He's playable. Right, peeps, that's about enough of that. And I think you'll see that is why I picked Stach, and that's why it was a GOAT move. And to be accused of just going on to review and picking him like at a moment's notice is like very, very insulting, peeps, because you know me, I'm better than that, better than them. You know what I mean? How can somebody in all these shows not even know why anyone's got Stach? Because if you do your research, you know why Stach is a good pick. So, I've got out of bed the wrong side. I'm grumpy. Like I said, I'm going to go and talk to some penguins. They're not going to attack me, peeps. That sea lion that attacked me the other day, someone else made him grumpy, not me. And it's the same here. Az makes me grumpy, and I go off on a tangent and start attacking people like Gary, who calls me Solio Boy, D-Unit, saying that I picked Stach from review. Even D-Unit, you know what I mean? So it's just ridiculous, peeps. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, let's go and look and see what review can do for me this week. Right, where are we? Here we are. Calm down, peeps. I'll calm down. Right, so this is my team. 3 or 4 choices here. One was to play the free hit. Still possible. But I'm thinking that my team's in great shape. No injuries, no flags of any description. I've got a lot of the players that I would want on a free hit anyway, like Reinders. Hang on, I've got to reset this, peeps. Where are we? That's me fiddling before. So this is my team. So, yeah, I've got a lot of decent players in it. I've got 2 free transfers. I'm considering a hit. So the first option is to free hit. But like I said, everything's looking hunky-dory. And I think that the free hit chip will gain me more later in the season, especially if Palace have a blank game week at some point, should they progress in the Carabao Cup. So my defence is looking all right this week, so it doesn't really need a free hit. Would I have Senesi on a free hit? Quite possibly. I mean, people are getting Guardiola in, Tarkowski and all those, but these players can get just as many points. Sanchez could be a bit of an issue. I suspect he won't start, and then I'll have to Bravka away at Man City. But I'm either going to get lots of save points, or Reinders will have put the ball past him. So either way, I should be happy. Now, the obvious thing to do here, which is pretty much a no-brainer, is Haaland. I didn't do it last night. I should have done it last night. I said I was going to do it, and then I get people whispering in my ear, telling me not to rush and all this type of thing, influencing my natural game. Like all the people that told me to get Dewsbury Hall last week instead of Stach. So I've got to kind of shield myself from this constant stream of people telling me what I should be doing, treating me like a sheep when I should be treated like the golden goat. Do you know what I mean, peeps? Right, so let's have a look. So we're getting Haaland in. We're getting rid of Salah. 2 choices here, 2 affordable choices. Semenyo and Ndiaye, other 2 I'm looking at. Both get defensive contributions, which is key to my strategy. So a good reason for not doing it last night was Indai does have a game in the Carabao Cup tomorrow, which did enter my thoughts. And also that potential kind of injury to Haaland. It's not so much an injury, it sounds more like an excuse for Guardiola not wanting to admit that he took Haaland off because he wanted to park the bus against Arsenal, which is probably the real reason. But he did say in kind of pidgin English that Haaland might come off early in the future, but we didn't really expect 90 minutes against Burnley anyway, did we, really, to be quite honest? I mean, the free hit does have one advantage in that you get Salah back. And I think Salah's fixtures are actually better. And there is always that chance that Haaland drops off again, isn't there? But because I'm 400k and not 4 million, I'm thinking that now is a good time for me to tuck in. So I might well, play it safe for a little while. And I think I can incrementally work my way into the top 100k ahead of the people that, I'm already ahead of most of the people that are going to be my threats around that rank, because they're currently around 4 million. So let's just assume for now that I bring in Ndai for Salah, which has the advantage over Semenyo in that it gives me more options for what I do with Wirtz. Now, this is the key to this game week. I've got 3 choices. 1, just do this. Disadvantage of this current is I don't have Semenyo, who's got Leeds, and is one of the players that I want to shield myself from with this strategy of staying ahead of the people that are now behind me. So having Semenyo is very beneficial in that it does stop. If he gets 20 points, say, against Leeds, that cuts out quite a lot of my advantage. If I've got him at the cost of -4, which I think I can afford after getting 30 on my bench boost at the weekend, thanks, of course, to that goat pick Stach. Honestly, peeps, yes, it would be so nice just to get a bit of recognition for making a good pick, rather than just be accused of using review from somebody who's salty because they only got 30 points from our entire team. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really angry with you, Alaz. Don't worry. I love your show and all that, but I do think that sometimes, it's encouraged all those pricks on the pubcast to start calling me the same thing now. And it is nice to get a bit of recognition for bringing in Stach. When I did all that research, I just get accused of copying review. Right, so Semenyo's the obvious. I guess it's the obvious choice, isn't it, this week? I mean, like I said, I should have done it last night probably and saved myself some money. Wirtz is going down tonight. So I'm kind of thinking just do the Wirtz transfer tonight and hold on to the other ones. There is another option, which is to save the transfer, and next week bring in Saka, which is why I think Ndai for Salah is better than Semenyo for Ndai, because that does rule me out of getting in Saka. But the thing with Saka is that we've got to remember is, firstly, he's not on penalties, and secondly, he doesn't do defensive contributions, so we have to assume he doesn't. Whereas Semenyo, if he only gets him in every 5 games, that's still like an extra 10, 12 points per season for Semenyo on top of what he was getting last season. I think he got 170 last season. Add another 12 on for defensive contributions, and that's 180 odd. Also factor in he could be on a slice of penalties, and the possibility that he's actually better than last season, although I'm not convinced. So I've got a choice of either saving, going without Semenyo this week, putting up with a Wirtz price fall, or just kicking the prick out and getting Semenyo. And kind of easier to sleep at night with Semenyo in my team. I mean, his ownership's now getting up well over 50%. Very few people don't have him. And like I said, I mean, the thing with Saka though is Madueke's possibly out for the season, which is very, very unfortunate for him. I feel quite sorry for him because he got a bit of a rough ride from Maresca, who I'm not a big Maresca fan, and he got a bit of a rough ride. He's gone to Arsenal. He was proactive. He thought, I'm not going to hang around with this prick Maresca in charge, and he's gone off to Arsenal, and now he's done his ACL by the look of it. So could be out for the most of the season. So that's kind of going to, I think, increase Saka's minutes, isn't it? So it is quite tempting to get Saka. But like I said, I mean, I could always do this and still get Saka. Do you know what I mean? I'm still going to have a free transfer next week. And I get a free Semenyo, even if it's only for the Leeds match, rather than a Saka away at Newcastle. I mean, Saka might be crap. And then I might decide I don't want Saka anyway. Or if Semenyo's really crap, then I can still get Saka. So that's one way of looking at it, I guess. So Haaland's going to be the captain. It's not hugely different or worse than free hit teams that I'm seeing. I mean, the keeper's not the best and Gyökeres isn't the best. But you never know what's going to happen in the game week. The rest of them I'm kind of seeing in free hit teams anyway. We'll move up the Golden Goat to first on the bench. But honestly, peeps, I was a bit annoyed in a way because it's the same thing happens in chess now. If you play a really great game online and you're really kind of proud of your game and you play really well, then your opponent just turns around and accuses you of cheating because you haven't made any mistakes. And it's kind of the same here. You go and do your research and that, and you just get accused of using review. And it's disappointing. It is disappointing. But anyway, peeps, I'm off now. I've had enough. I'm going to go and talk to the penguins. They're not going to attack me. They're not going to steal my muffin. We're going to have a nice chat. They're going to mellow me out and bring me some sardines or whatever we're going to do. And we're going to have a little cozy up on the beach. And it's going to be a great day. And I'll talk to you all later anyway, peeps. And if there are any dramas, if a gang up on me, attack me, kill me, drag me off into the ocean or whatever, you can rest assured it will be filmed live and appear on this channel. Because the other day I was nearly on Fuck Around and Find Out, wouldn't I? Because of that, I looked up those sea lions. They do actually weigh about 450k, the males, which is like £1,000, like a ton. They literally weigh a ton. And when it come up behind, I couldn't believe how quick it moved. Once it opened his mouth and I saw those teeth, they were like that. They were like tusks. And he started to speed up at the same time. I've got angry face on. I was sitting on the ground, so I was easy for him to just blooming stomp on. You know what I mean? So I quickly turned and tried to run, slipped in the sand, and I was fully expecting the whole weight of that sea lion, which is like a ton, to land on my leg. Thankfully it didn't, but I was shaking afterwards, peeps, absolutely shaking, terrified, literally, really was. And it was my own fault. I shouldn't have gone near them. It's one of the golden rules, isn't it? Don't muck around with wild animals, because crazy. I was lucky I saw him, wasn't it? Like I was doing my video and I saw him out the corner of my eye coming towards me. If I hadn't seen him, God knows what would have happened. You know what I mean? He'd have just barreled into me from the side. Oh, nightmare, peeps, nightmare. But it's not as bad as having to put up with being called review boy and solio boy by these little pricks that do it themselves and never had a decent rank in their lives. You know what I mean? So I've had enough. I'm going. So I'll talk to you all later, peeps. And cheers for now. And it's good to have a rant, by the way, because it's been a while, hasn't it? And it's all in good nature. All in good nature. I like ours and like all these people, But they need to realise they're dealing with the goat. And so do the people that do the Content Creator Awards. Not that I want one, peeps, but it would be nice to be nominated. You know what I mean? But no, ignored. And the reason is because they don't like the truth. Because the truth hurts, peeps, and I never hold back from telling the truth, do I? So, and I don't like it. So I talk to you all later, peeps, and cheers for now.